What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MLG Winter Exhibitions, a little tournament that we're having for the losers of Round 1 from the MLG Winter Championships. First match is MarineKing versus Seed. Of course, I'm axeltoss, joined by axslav. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning if you live in Europe.
Or Korea.
Or Korea, or Australia. Just those three.
Nowhere else in the world.
That's all I know across that piece of water over there, the Atlantic. But 2-0 MarineKing right now.
Yeah.
He's looking pretty strong.
He is. It's the same build that he's been doing for a while, and this is a build that was very predominant in Wings of Liberty. Well, actually, you know what? Let's get into Game 3.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Truer,
into Game 3.
Truer words have never been spoken. Of course, it's going to be Daybreak. But yeah, MarineKing a commanding lead right now, 2-0, on the verge of 3-0. If he can 3-0 here, of course, he'll advance to the next round of the bracket. And but again, Seed is a guy, I keep saying don't count him out, but seriously, I promise he is very good.
Does anybody remember an MVP Seed GSL Finals? Where MVP was up 3-0?
That's a great.
And then Seed's like, you know what? This losing thing's not so fun.
I think he's reminding his opponent of that fact in the chat there. He's like,
yes,
you know what?
Is.
Look, we see a 2 from MarineKing. He's like, I'm up 2-0, yo.
Yeah, and then Seed's like, I've been down 0-3 and won a, one of the most prestigious tournaments in the world.
Well, there's no number 3 there, so I don't think he said that exactly, but.
Well, he might have typed it out.
Oh, in alphagenic photo.
Yes.
I don't know. Is there's a word for that? All right. Game 3, here we are. Daybreak. Top right-hand location. We got the Red Terran player, MarineKing. He's up 2-0. He's 1 win away from advancing to the next round. His opponent in the bottom left-hand location has been having trouble with some medevac timings, with lots of bio underneath from MarineKing, his opponent. He is Seed from Team Incredible Miracle, and he has some work to do.
He does. He does. And, I was saying earlier, MarineKing has really been using this. Basically, it's a 2-base powering build. And it was very popular in Wings of Liberty TVP basically about a year ago. And then as Protosses basically figured out exactly how many units they need at exactly what times to not die, then Terran started saying, well, if we can't do critical damage, then why not just take a 3rd base slot faster, because then we're in better shape as the game goes on. So it kind of started to lose popularity. But now in Heart of the Swarm, medevacs are stronger, and the timings are all new and different. So it's going to take, a little while for the Protoss to figure out exactly what they need to not die to those timings. And we can see Seed's evolution, right? The first game he pushed out, used some force fields early, and that didn't work, right? He didn't have enough force fields to defend. So the second game, he kept his units back at home, and he didn't immediately die, right? He actually held out for about a good minute and a half using photon overcharges and force fields, but he still eventually succumbed to it, perhaps investing a little bit too much in air, or who really knows exactly all the things that went wrong there. But, let's see what he's doing here on Daybreak. I mean, he's already doing things different. He's scouting this game, so.
He did. But he's not really changing much back home.
Not yet. Not yet. Let's see if he goes for something different.
Like I feel like he's going to go for the fast Mothership Core again, because I don't think there's any other reason to get this much gas early. Unless you
Proxy
want, like,
Stargate top of the map.
Oh.
Is he going to do it?
I think he is. There's no reason. There's no other reason to put that probe.
Oh, there we go.
Unless you proxy a shrine up there.
And so that's why he scouted, because he wanted to see if MarineKing was doing the same build, right? He knows the exact build MarineKing did those last 2 games by the factory timing. He knew gas was late. He knew eBay was late. He knew he just had barracks and Marines. And Oracles are great against Marines and SCVs.
Now, I'm wondering if
MarineKing's changing his build as well.
I'm wondering if, with that SCV, he was able to spot either A, the lack of a Mothership Core, B, the lack of a 3rd pylon, or I don't know what C was, but those 2. What do you think?
He might have. He might have. One thing that's for sure is he's actually getting gas substantially faster this game. Only 2 barracks before gases instead of 3. So we could see a faster factory, which would mean a faster Viking, maybe faster eBay for an attack upgrade, which could mean a faster missile turret. He hasn't really shown us what he's going to do quite yet with this gas.
This is definitely going to be an Oracle, by the way, for those wondering at home. Of course, the idea here is to get that Oracle as fast as possible to your opponent's mineral line before any Marines can really get out to defend, and at the very least force those SVs to be pulled.
And this is actually not just going to be an Oracle harass.
Whoa. Never
he
mind.
hasn't expanded yet.
I'm a liar.
This is going to be a Void Ray all-in.
This is where you call me a liar, Mr. Axslav.
You are a liar, good sir.
Wow, you didn't. I didn't mean to actually do it.
I mean, almost always it's an Oracle. In fact, even with these all-in builds,
Yeah.
we saw MC do a lot of Oracle all-in builds.
So I think this means he really wants to take his opponent off guard with the Stargate.
He does. He does.
Because, of course, the other option is getting that Oracle out, trying to get some Oracle damage. But when you do that, you're going to have less force in the front because your Oracle has less energy, and your opponent's going to be aware of what you're doing. So might put down a turret, might put down an engineering bay at the very least. No engineering bay. Oh, well, as I say that, MarineKing just now putting down that.
There are Marines back at the main, though. In fact, there are 6 Marines, which is the perfect number to defend an Oracle harass. 5 isn't quite enough. 6 is what you need. But MarineKing's going for a siege tank. The question is, will that siege tank come out in time, and will he place it in a position that the Void Ray can't easily snipe it? Remember, Void Rays kill armor units insanely fast.
Prismatic alignment.
It makes him amazing at killing bunkers. It makes him amazing at sniping down siege tanks. And if MarineKing doesn't think of the Void Ray as a threat, he puts that siege tank on like the high ground cliff edge.
Only one bunker.
It'll just get absolutely
He can force
slaughtered.
field the ramp. He's going to have to lift that command center right away. Try to get those SCVs out into the main. This bunker's dead. This natural is not going to survive. But let's see how MarineKing reacts from here. Bunker going down. Marines are going to get demolished by those Void Rays. He's going to try to advance into the main base of his opponent. No bunker up here. Targeting down that supply depot. The tank is going to get sieged up, but Seed can target it down quite quickly. SCV's going to try to repair. Look at how fast that tank died. And MarineKing is going to be in a lot of trouble here.
He is. Marines are getting nailed down by those Void Rays. SCVs now come out the line. Still no flanking SCVs from the back. The Void Ray is being microed very well by Seed.
It does
One
die,
goes down.
But that's not going to be enough. 50 to 30 is the supply advantage. There's the... Isn't that like a cry face?
I think it is. I think it is. And Seed's saying, this is the beginning of the comeback.
This is what I said, man. I know you're 2-0. Now it's 2-1. Pretty cool build there from Seed.
It was. I feel like MarineKing might have had a chance if he flanked right when Seed was on the ramp. If as a Terran player, you can hit from both sides of the ramp with SCVs.
Yeah.
And so none of the gateway units can touch the Marines. Except for the Stalker in the very front, of course, he can micro that one. I feel like MarineKing might have been able to hold that because, who knows, though. I mean, the timing with the SCV pull wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of Marines early. But mostly it was just he had no idea that was coming.
I mean, and that's a build that we're seeing the power of the Void Ray in Heart of the Storm. Of course, the ability, prismatic alignment, that bonus damage. Of course, a bunker is not going to be enough. We saw how fast the supply depot died. We saw how fast the tank lasted about a millisecond, literally, after the Protoss units saw it. Void Rays are very powerful. You got to be able to scout that out. You got to be able to know it's coming. Maybe add a turret. Maybe add 1 or 2 bunkers. But
on the high ground, yeah.
I don't even know if you can defend the natural at that point.
Yeah, I don't think you should, and there's really no need to either. If you hold your main with 2 orbitals, you'll be significantly ahead. So, but he had, I mean, no bunkers on the high ground, no SCVs in front of his units in time, and that was just spelled to end. Seed, you know, he noticed that MarineKing scouted early with SCV, then never scouted again the last couple of games, and so he's like, well, if I can just deny the SCV scout early with the Stalker, he's going to have no idea that this is coming at him.
That's a great point. And, you know, if MarineKing had either, scanned the main and the natural to see the lack of an expo or sent an SCV to his opponent's natural expansion, seeing the lack of an expansion, that's going to be enough to know that something scary is on the way. So Seed with the great game 3, he's going to kind of close down the series a little bit. It's now 2-1 in favor of MarineKing in this best of 5. You're watching the MLG Winter Exhibitions round 1 action between MarineKing Prime and Seed, where MKP is currently up 2-1, but Seed trying to make a comeback happen. We'll see what happens in game 4 coming up.